Hello Bard haters, and welcome to another fine We Hate Bards Let's Play. I'm Ben, and this is more Fallout New Vegas, Hardcore Permadeath. Last time, we got started on the Mr. House route. We went to Fortification Hill and got him a massive robot army, which is kind of cool. And, oh, Victor's still here. Thought you died. So yes, one of the things we've done in the meantime is well, a couple things we've done in the meantime. The first thing we did is we finally did the quest for Emily Ortal. All that really entails is if you go in there and run it by the area where I said all the booze and the food was, there's a computer off to the right. It's actually locked on hard, but you don't even need hard science because you don't actually have to hack it. All you have to do is use it, and it'll give you the option to plant the bug.
Been able to bug Mr. House's network yet?
And now we can tell her, she asked me once already, but now I can tell her, yeah, I bugged the tower for you.
It looks like we started getting reports from the tower's network. I'm sure.
Yeah, I wonder how long that's going to last.
This.
Yep, we got 450 experience, even though they didn't manage to keep it in there. And the weird thing is, Mr. House doesn't seem to care. Even though he clearly knows, or would know, that you planted the bug, he never mentions it, it never comes up, he never gets angry. No, I think he kind of appreciated that you did that because it gave him a chance to show off how in the know he really is. But since we've got a bunch of free experience now, it's time to go and do something else this part. And that something else is not actually going to be going and dealing with the boomers. I'm going to hold off on that until a little bit later, because there's a couple things I want to do. But before I cover what exactly we're going to be doing in this part, let me first just show you what I've done in between on kind of the off-screen time. So the big thing I did was I actually went and played casino games back at the Tops, and cleared them all out of money, just like I did with the Atomic Wrangler, and I used the money I got from them to pick up a couple neat new little toys. So the first thing I got was an anti-material rifle suppressor, so that I could use the anti-material rifle for sneak attacks and a bunch of other stuff. But that's not the big thing I wanted to point out. The big thing I wanted to point out is this little piece of work right here. Aw, yeah. So now when people in the Wasteland see me coming, this is what they're going to see kind of running at them. Not quite as good as what I would like it to be right now. It only has damage, I think, 73 with the upgrade I put on it, because I had a mod, if you'll remember. I bought that quite a while back in Novak. Finally, I have a chainsaw to apply it to, but the damage still isn't up to what I kind of want it to be, so I'm going to be dumping points into melee weapons for a while. As for what my plan is for this part, there's a particular upgrade I'm largely overdue for, at least I think I'm overdue, and that is this armor I'm wearing. While it's kind of nice for the mid-game, not really suitable to go all the way to the end. So I'm going to need some power armor, I think. And the quickest way to do that is actually to do a companion quest, namely for All Lang Syne. Which means we finally get to talk to Arcade Gannon for the first time in the run.
I'll try the other doctor.
So Arcade Gannon just informed us he's more of a researcher than a doctor, but we're going to ask him to come with us anyway.
I'm starting to remember hearing some... Maybe they're not all true. That's enough for me to stand here and talk to you.
Oh, right, so I may have made a slight error there. I forgot that if you had any sort of positive karma with the Legion, Arcade Gannon would refuse to work with you. However, luckily for us, there's a way around that. If you find some NCR armor just lying around, or as I did, on the body of a dead trooper I may or may not have killed, and you wear that, it will disguise you as a member of the NCR. This will temporarily allow you to get around the requirement of not having any Legion fame. You can trick the game into thinking you don't. It'll also work if you haven't talked to Boone yet. Oh, Boone, R.I.P. Boone. But if you haven't talked to Boone yet, and you want to go and do his loyalty quest, and he's pissed at you because you helped the Legion, if you wear NCR armor, you can get around that. In addition to needing the NCR armor, you also need a speech of 75 to convince him. Alternatively, if you've done high times for Julie Farkas and have fairly high followers of the Apocalypse fame, he'll just come with you because he's heard about you. So now that we've finally got Arcade Gannon in our little group, we need to go and trigger his loyalty quest. The way we do that is very similar to how we had to trigger Boone's loyalty quest. Again, R.I.P. Boone. But we have to trigger a certain amount of loyalty points by going to certain locations and doing certain things. The easiest point we can get is to go into the Silver Rush. So when you go into the Silver Rush, Arcade Gannon will comment that there are a lot of energy weapons around. It doesn't matter which one of these you pick, but I'm just going to ask him, do the followers use energy weapons?
I mean, but...
And that will give him 1 loyalty point. We don't even need to stay in here at this point. I actually am going to, though, because there's still one quest we can do for the Van Graffs before we take this whole thing down. So once you've sat through that little cutscene where the Van Graffs show how horribly murderous they are, you can go in, and I think we can actually loot this guy's body. But he only has 2 caps on him, so that was hardly worth it.
Welcome to the Silver Rush.
If we talk to Gloria Van Graff, we can ask if she has any work
It just
available.
so
And that will trigger the quest to go and, wait, what? Hang about. Right, sorry about that. We won't be able to complete the quest, but we can at least do the first part.
Welcome to the Silv.
So this thing right here, basically what you're doing is you're working as a bouncer for the Silver Rush. And the idea is we just have to sit here and watch for paying customers and make sure we follow appropriate protocol.
Here comes a...
As boring as this quest is, part of me kind of likes it, because to my knowledge it's the most accurate representation of bouncing ever in a video game. Yep, all you do is determine whether or not people can go in. Because most video games, they will have bouncer be some big tough, oh, I hate you, I'm gonna beat you up. This one, it's just no. All you have to do is just pay attention, watch for people, see whether or not they can go in, follow the rules. And that's bouncing in a nutshell.
In the area and
So with this guy, for example, he seems like he's straight up, but he also seems like he's really nervous about something. So we'll say, we're going to have to search you first.
Fine by me.
And turns out he didn't have any weapons on him. I thought this was a guy who had weapons on him. Yeah, I've never actually worked as a bouncer, but I worked as a bartender for a few months, and, I got well acquainted with the bouncers there, obviously. This is all they did. You talk to people, you make sure they're on the up and up. They seem a bit shifty, you tell them to go fuck off. Speech 65, we can actually get this guy to let us pat him down.
I suppose.
Now, unrelated to general bouncing practice, and more related to Fallout New Vegas in particular, this is the more interesting part of this quest. Because I think it's this guy right here. If you let him past you and into the Silver Rush, he's got a bomb on him, and he'll blow the Silver Rush up. Which is, if you hate the Van Graffs, probably the easiest way to deal with him. Because then you can kill the entire Van Graff family, only have to deal with Simon, and, that's not too terribly difficult. And the downside of that, though, is it does destroy all their really expensive weaponry.
Something to replace my old... Damn, I... Over here!
And as we can see, he had an explosive charge on him and a revenge note. None of which we're going to take. Well, we'll take the explosive charge because it's valuable. But the rest he can just kind of keep on his dead body. Arcade, you're sort of in the way of my bouncing. This final one, if I recall, is just a random king who wants to kind of come in and cause trouble. Oh wait, no, that's Pacer. I didn't realize that was Pacer. So that bit with Pacer was part of a whole subplot thing to kind of demonstrate that Pacer and the Van Graffs really don't get along. And actually, you can use that to your advantage later on. There's a point later when the NCR will tell you that they need you to go resolve things in Freeside between the NCR and the Kings. And one of the potential ways you can do that, if you get Pacer and the Van Graffs pissed off at each other, and I'm blanking on exactly how you do that, but if you can get them pissed off enough at each other, Pacer will attempt to kill them by himself, because as we established a couple parts ago, he's a freaking idiot. But he'll try to take him on by himself, get himself killed, and that will count as a win condition for resolving things between the NCR and the Kings. Yeah, I'm probably not going to complete Birds of a Feather. Actually, I'm definitely not going to complete Birds of a Feather. Largely because in order to do so, you have to kill Cass, which I'm not going to do. In fact, as soon as I'm done with Arcade Gannon's thing, I'm probably going to go and make Cass my next priority. But I'm going to do the quest as far as I can anyway. To get the next 2 loyalty points for Arcade Gannon, we have to travel back to McCarran Airfield, who hasn't yet realized that they're now 1 trooper short, due to reasons that are not entirely my fault. I mean, it's not like I had to kill a trooper here to take his armor so I could convince Arcade Gannon to come with me in the first place. That wouldn't be a thing that would ever happen. Ooh, we can actually upgrade the amount of caps we're getting with a speech of 40.
Alright.
So once you've gotten Hildred to end the conversation, Arcade Gannon will start up a conversation of his own, and if you answer, good thing there are some people like you
Kind of you
around.
to say, but there are better people than me.
That'll give us 2 loyalty points with Arcade Gannon. That means, as of right now, we are at 3 loyalty points with Arcade Gannon, and we only need, I believe, 5. And there's one more easy way to get the rest of the points that we need. So we're back on the strip, and now that we've been rudely interrupted by Mr. Holdout, we need to go into the Gomorrah. Because in order to get those 2 remaining loyalty points I was telling you about and trigger Arcade Gannon's loyalty quest, the easiest way to do that is by completing the quest, The Whitewash.
Well, what do we have here, huh?
Oh, look, you're still around. Yeah, this is the quest for later. I'm not going to do it quite yet, but I'll at least get it started. With a medicine 50, you can tell her that we know she's a Med-X addict. And she will go to her room. Incidentally, she'll wait there until we show up. We're not going to do it right now because I just want to complete the quest of the Whitewash, which first entails talking to Dazzle.
Hi.
So upon talking to Dazzle, we now can go and meet Trent Bascom at the NCR Sharecropper Farms. Quick side note, I don't know if I pointed it out before, but if you're really looking for a cheap and easy way to get all your dehydration taken away, NCR Sharecropper Farms, no cost to use this, no rads, just cheap, easy water. You can also do that at any hideout you own, so well worth noting that. Here's Trent Bascom. This quest is a bit of a runabout. You have to go talk to one person, then go talk to another, and then go talk to a third, and then you find the final person. It's another one of those quests, and we've had a few of them to this point. Because after talking to Trent Bascom, we have to come and talk to Lieutenant Romanowski, and tell him we're looking for Corporal White, who's trying to find information about the water shortage. So I had to come all the way to Outer Vegas to find Tom Anderson, and on my way here, when I fast-traveled, I ran into a raider. So, looks like it's as good a time as any to test out my new chainsaw. Damn it, Arcade, I wanted to test out my chainsaw. As for Tom Anderson himself, as it happens, he's actually a member of the Followers of the Apocalypse. When we talk to him, we can manage to find out that he's responsible for the water shortage because he's been taking water from the NCR and doling it out to members of Freeside and other places, largely because it's the right thing to do and they need it. However, he's still technically stealing from the NCR, so when Corporal went to confront him about it, Tom Anderson was forced to kill him to avoid being taken in and told you're not allowed to help out the citizens anymore. And even though in general we've been trying to help out the NCR as much as possible during this run, on this particular occasion we're going to be siding with Tom Anderson. First of all, because what he's doing is, he's not wrong, it's technically the right thing to do, making sure that people who need water get it. But secondly, completing the quest that way ensures that you get the maximum amount of loyalty points for Arcade Gannon's loyalty quest. But Tom Anderson is here in the Casa Madrid apartments, either way you want to play it. And he's right in his apartment, should be sleeping at this point. And it looks like he is. Intelligence check is all we need to do to figure out that he did it. So the best way to do this, if you want the loyalty points, and if you want to keep everyone in Outer Vegas getting water, is he will suggest that we blame it on a local gang. If you blame it on a local gang called the Scorpions, not only do you get Followers of the Apocalypse fame, Arcade Gannon will approve, and the NCR will still think that it was in fact the Scorpions. He should be allowing us to activate his loyalty quest anytime now. Right, Gannon? Arcade? Arcade? This is a conundrum. Okay, so I have made yet another error. Because I thought we could start Arcade Gannon's quest right now. I thought the only trigger requirement to allow us to do Arcade Gannon's loyalty quest for Auld Lang Syne was just to have started one of the main quest lines with House or NCR or whatever. As it turns out, that's not actually the case. Because one, if you do Caesar's Legion route at all, it won't activate, it won't trigger. And two, if you're doing the NCR or the House Always Wins, then you need to actually reach a certain point. For the NCR, you have to have killed Mr. House. And obviously I'm not going to get to that point because I have chosen to do the House route. And though I may be doing some quests with the NCR just to get the experience for it, that is one quest I'm absolutely not going to be doing for the NCR. As for the Mr. House route, the only way to trigger it via that way is to have completed the House Always Wins Part 5, which I believe is dealing with the Brotherhood. And that's going to be a while off anyway. As for Yes Man is the only one that you can trigger it right away. So if I had picked up, or decided to do the Yes Man route, and already installed Yes Man in the Lucky 38, the second you do that, Arcade Gannon's quest for Auld Lang Syne becomes triggerable. Triggerable, is that a word? What that means is that even though I've done enough loyalty things for Arcade Gannon to want to tell me about his unique loyalty quest for Auld Lang Syne, and even though part of that quest involves talking to Judah Krieger, and it turns out that they actually know each other, for right now, they're standing right next to each other and nothing is happening. all that ultimately means that I'm not going to be able to get power armor the way I had originally intended. And it also means that I'm going to have to wait a while to do his loyalty quest to get the Enclave power armor, which I am, or specifically his unique Enclave power armor, which I'm going to try for. So yes, I'm not going to be able to do for Auld Lang Syne right now, or really for quite some time. Meaning Arcade Gannon, it's been fun, but you need to go back now. It's time for us to part ways. Yes, fuck off. The lucky part about all that is, since I've already done those loyalty points, it will still count. I just haven't been able to activate the trigger condition. But once I do get past the House Always Wins Part 5, all I have to do is go and talk to him, and then he'll immediately, once I get him back in my party again, he'll immediately say, hey, I've got a special thing we can go do. As for why I'm back in the Mojave Outpost, it is because, to finish off this part, I'm going to do yet a different loyalty quest, and that is Cass. If you remember a couple parts ago, I did bits for the Crimson Caravan, and they wanted me to go and talk to Cass and convince her to sell her share in Cassidy Caravans. And Cass will explain to us that her caravan got attacked by raiders, and as a result, it's not worth anything. The only thing she has left of the caravan is the name of it, but she still refuses to sell because, according to her, her name's all she's got left. But with a speech of 75, actually even with a speech of 50, you can convince her that this isn't the way, but I'm going to try a speech of 75 just for the extra experience.
What?
And after making those speech checks, we've convinced her to come with us, so me and Cass are going to be super awesome killing buddies for a while. So the reason I wanted to do Cass's loyalty quest this part, in addition to Arcade Gannon's, was because, unlike both Boone and Arcade, her loyalty quest does not actually require any sort of special points or conditions to be fulfilled. All we have to do is talk to her with anything but evil karma.
Like to pay my...
She'll ask us that. She'll say she wants to go and visit certain caravans. And if we agree to travel with her to the caravan, that will trigger the actual loyalty quest we need to do. So the first caravan she wants us to look at is obviously her own. And to do that, the quickest way I found is to fast travel to the Grub and Gulp rest stop, and then just walk straight west, and you'll see it right here. I mean, it's possible you may have triggered this location already, depending on how far you've explored.
There's almost nothing left.
But if you haven't, then
Looks
usually
like
the Grub and Gulp
whoever
is a
it
place you will have unlocked.
was...
So after looking through the caravan, she says that she's heard of other caravans that have been hit. So we're going to go and check those out in a minute as well. But first, let's see if there's anything left of this. Someone's fighting each other over there. Who the heck are those guys? Right, so apparently a bunch of people just started using energy weapons for some reason. Well, not my problem. So before you do Cass's loyalty quest, it's important, if you want the experience, to finish up the quest for Crimson Caravan. Specifically the ones for Alice McLafferty, like telling her that Cass has agreed to sell the caravan. The reason we need to do that if we want the experience is because upon completion of Cass's quest, no matter which of the two routes you take, at the end of it, Alice McLafferty goes away, either because you killed her or because she gets arrested, and you can no longer turn in those quests. So I forgot that after you give all three of those quests in, that she gives you earlier for You Can Depend on Me, she has one more quest. And before we complete Cass's loyalty quest, we're going to go and do that as well. I mean, it's legitimately not that hard to go and do, especially if you know the secret way to get in and get out really quick. Okay, so apparently if you do the whitewash and blame the scorpions, they start getting mad at you. Ah, these must be the fiends from earlier who I saw shooting things with laser weaponry. So to complete pressing matters, all we need to do is come here to the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, and there's actually a very easy way to complete it. Because the game will tell you to go in the side or the front or various different entrances, but if you come around here to the back by where you see these crates and that little truck over there, and we go on here to the factory floor, there's a few Protectrons here guarding things, but as you can see they don't put up much of a fight. Hell, Cass took him out mostly by herself. But once you come in this area, just go to the left over here, activate the bottle cap press, and then we can just strip all the important bits out of the machine. Doing it this way, you manage to skip most of the facility and make completing the quest extremely easy. So, highly recommend you to do it this way rather than going through the main entrance, because there's actually quite a few other robots in there, and it can be a bit tricky. So, while I'm in the area working on pressing matters, I figured I might as well stop by the sacked caravan Cass wants us to check out, because it's literally right up the road over here. And just up ahead there, you can see the remains of Griffin Ware's sacked caravan. But, in the meantime, there are cazadors in the area, so we need to be a bit careful. Because cazadors are much more deadly than bloatflies and can hurt you a lot more, if they decide to come after me. So upon investigating, she finds a map leading to some more areas that have been sacked. So we're going to check out one more on the way. But first, as I mentioned, we're going to go and finish up pressing matters. Hey McLafferty, good news! I stripped out all the parts from the bottle cap press, and that was totally worth waking you up at 4:30 in the morning for.
Good.
So that is all the quests you can do for Crimson Caravan, and now we can actually complete Cass's loyalty quest. And this last leg is the easiest, because all we have to do is come back to Durable Dunn's sect. Where are you going? The place we need to look around is up here. All these people have been, and surprisingly some of them have been looted. Don't know who would have done that.
Caravan and the Vanguard.
So after examining Durable Dunn's sacked caravan, which is the third one, she figures out it was Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs. But we will tell her there's another way, and I'm going to choose to do that other way. Because if you don't, you pretty much have to fight the entirety of the Van Graffs. Which on normal mode I'd be perfectly okay with doing. But if there's a risk that Cass is going to die and I'll lose out on the experience, I think I'm just going to go with the safe route. So to finish this up, we need two key things. We need evidence from McLafferty, and we need evidence from the Van Graffs. Neither of which is terribly hard to find. For McLafferty's, just come to the safe inside the Crimson Caravan that we found earlier. And inside we will find $500 worth of NCR currency, 321 caps, some pure water, which I'm taking just because I can actually make use of it, and the Crimson Caravan Van Graff agreement. Unfortunately, that's only part one of 2 bits of evidence we need. Because basically, what it boils down to is it's an accounting ledger for the Crimson Caravan having to deal with the Van Graffs. And anyone who knows anything about accounting realizes that without both sides of a ledger, you can't really make heads or tails of what's actually happened. All of this means we have to go back into the Silver Rush and search around to find stuff there. Now, before I do that, I'm going to tell Cass to wait right here.
Alright.
I don't know if she starts shooting if you take her into the Van Graffs. She didn't at Crimson Caravan, which I thought she was going to. But just on the off chance that she might start shooting if we do that, I'm going to take this on by myself. And because we did the Van Graffs quest, they will allow us to take any weapons we want inside, which will make our life a bit easier if we do have to shoot our way out. So the evidence we need is back in that room, and if we try to pick the lock here, of course they will start trying to kill us. So the way we're going to deal with that is we're going to unequip the armor, and we're actually going to burn one of our first stealth boys since back when we were breaking into the gun runners. As soon as you get back in there, there's a safe that we also have to pick. And inside you'll find the letter to Gloria. And in this occasion, I also found some laser rifle focus optics, which I don't actually need, but they're pretty valuable, so I'm going to take them anyway. And for picking that lock, we go up to level 16. So most of that is actually going to go straight into melee weapons because I want to be able to use this chainsaw to its full effectiveness as soon as I can. It's still going to take me a couple levels to be able to do that, but if I can just keep it going up by 15 points each level, then I will get there shortly. And as for the perk this time, there's not even any discussion. It's got to be heavyweight. The fact that I've got the anti-material rifle and now the chainsaw means I'm going to need that because I'm now carrying around a bunch of heavy weapons. And once I'm done with the boomers, I'm probably going to have even more, such as the minigun and the rocket launcher. So now that we have both bits of those evidence, we can tell Cass we're ready to go, and she will tell us we need to go back to Ranger Jackson at the Mojave Outpost. So if we tell Jackson we have evidence of a caravan conspiracy,
I need you to swear you won't take revenge.
and he'll tell us that as long as we don't try to kill either of those people, he will indict them. And so Cass can now finally be at peace knowing that her caravan will be avenged for the wrongdoing it suffered. So for completing it that way, she gains the Calm Heart perk, which will give her a permanent health bonus. If you do decide to kill both the Van Graffs and the Crimson Caravan, or Alice McLafferty, if you decide to go that route, she'll get, I can't remember what it's called, but I know it's a damage bonus. And unfortunately for her, that is all I needed her for. Yep, we can tell her it's time to part ways. I don't know why she reluctantly goes to the Lucky 38. There's plenty of booze there. So now that we've completed the quest for Cass, we've basically finished everything I kind of wanted to do for this part. But that still leaves us with one slight problem. We didn't get the power armor we wanted from Arcade Gannon, because we couldn't activate for all Lang Syne, because we're not quite there yet. So, luckily for us, there is another way to get power armor, and that way happens to be standing right here at the 188 trading post.
But you look
Hello,
like you traveled
Felicia
all the way
Day.
down to
So, now that we've talked to Veronica, we had to make an intelligence check because she asked us about the Brotherhood, and as it turns out, she's actually a member of the Brotherhood, whose job is to help them get food. She's also going to be a companion for us for a while, so next time, in order for me to get my power armor, we are going to go and deal with the Brotherhood. That is going to be pretty much the entire part, because not only am I going to end up doing Veronica's loyalty quest in there, I'm also going to do all the random errands that the Brotherhood sends you on, because there are a lot of them. I'm going to get up to the point where I can actually join the Brotherhood, and hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier when House wants us to go and deal with them. It means it's one part we can just kind of go and deal with nice and easily. So yes, as we finish up this part, in preparation for the next part, we've got Veronica now, and as I mentioned, next time we're going to be I'm going to show you how to activate our loyalty quest, and then how to ultimately do it. Which means we're going to be doing a couple additional quests along the way. So I'm going to get prepared for the next time, and when that happens, I'll show you how to deal with the Brotherhood nice and easily. But in the meantime, thanks as always for watching, guys. I was Ben. Where the fuck are you going? Oh, I guess asleep. Right, as I was saying, I was Ben, and this was Fallout New Vegas Hardcore Permadeath. See you next time, everyone.